or we can begin to allow them to all connect. So for some of the sisters that's been doing all of their cleanses and they've been doing a meditation, we come with the focal point. How do you get this mitochondrial to turn up? Can you type PQQ in on Google? This is a critical aspect to raising the mitochondria. Because of the pollutants and the toxins that's been fed to us by the society that's came to replace us, and they failed miserably because here we are taking over.
I need you to tell me what it was. You want me to
Just
look
put
up?
in, it's 3 letters, PQQ. So for all of the sisters that's already caught up on their cleanses and stuff, this is what you got to do next. Okay, we can scroll down to okay, it's a nutrient. I want to click on the description of it. We'll tell you what it does.
Right here.
Go to the top and type purpose behind it. Okay, scroll down. I'll tell you when you get to the one I need. See that PQQ supplement? Go down to 9 key ingredients. Or 9 reasons is the key nutrient. Okay, let's go over this article. What is PQQ? We just gonna start there. No, we can start at the top. It say tiny organs inside your cell. See what it say? Mitochondria. Work hard every day. Turn in. Oh, you're going the wrong way. Right there, right there. Turning the food you consume into energy. But with age, the number of mitochondria naturally declines. A molecule found in your body called Prialkylating quinine, or PQQ for short, has many benefits for your health, most notably boosting the production of mitochondria. Referred to as an all-natural fountain of youth, PQQ's ability to power up your mitochondria does a lot for your health and longevity. When you have more mitochondria, it impacts your energy level, metabolism, and resilience to disease. Remember we was talking about Henrietta Lack shouldn't have died from cervical cancer without an outside interference.
And someone was asking about her blood type
I don't know what her
as
blood type
well.
was. I think she was a type O, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Anyway, it said when you have more mitochondria, it impacts your energy level, metabolism, resilience to disease. PQQ also protects against oxidative stress with its super antioxidant power and may keep you feeling young for many years to come. Now, this supplement is a very critical supplement for the sisters right now, right? But she also going to need with this a mushroom called lion's mane. You want to type that in?
Yes.
So now we're going from study phase of philosophy to the application. So we're going from theory to application to ignite the mitochondrial fuel in the women.
Where you want me to go?
The first one is good. it's that little box on the side with it even better. Go back a page. You see all the way to the right there where it say lion's mane jellyfish?
Yes.
Let's read that.
Okay, hold on.
Oh,
Lion's
no.
mane.
Yeah, that's not it. That's entirely different. Let's go back. Let's go
Okay.
back to where we was at. We was at the right place.
The lion's mane jellyfish, also known as the giant jellyfish.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's not the right one. That's
okay.
about a jellyfish. We talking about the mushroom. So
Okay.
let's go back to where we was at. We was at the right one.
Okay.
Okay, let's scroll down where it got the about part where we can read, let the people read what lion's mane do right there. Okay, can we? Okay, see what it say. Lion's mane provide cognitive support benefits for healthy brain function. Um, for healthy brain function and healthy stress response to daily challenges. Right. So that's what lion's mane is for. Is to maintain your brain's integrity as you increasing your energy output or input or the balance between the two. The PQQ is to naturally increase your mitochondrial energy production. And as you've seen, they say it's like taking the fountain of youth, right? Because it begin to make the women glow. It begin to make them regenerate because it begins to activate they lack Z gene, which is their immortal gene. So from here, we go to it's a meditation practice. There's several meditations, but you can use whichever meditation you're familiar with. But the visualization that accompanies it should be the like you activating your mitochondria. So you would get a video. Let's go to YouTube for a minute and type in mitochondrial DNA and see if it'll give us a, a look inside the cell. By understanding what it looked like, you can feel your way through it without being able to see it. So you're looking at the energy coming through the matrix. The matrix is internally in the mitochondrial cell. The energy comes from spirit, and the healthy mitochondrial can then begin to turn up. So the women want to turn it up. You turn it up in your mind. You use the faculty of abstract reason called imagination, and you visualize the cell coming online. Let's try this little short one right there. What's the shortest one you see?
Look up what now?
It's called COQ10. Now, I would advise all of y'all to get an herbalist because I can't give the individual consult to everybody, but you should go over herbalist to adjust your dosage. And he's probably going to ask you what cleanses you went through already. The most important cleanse is the heavy metal cleanse because the heavy metals settle at the end of the nerve cells. And when they start firing, it's like it burned the tips of the nerve cells. That's what causes the metal poisonings to kind of cripple people.
Well, they want to know what the herb are you talking about? Talking about lion's mane and what else?
CoQ10, lion's mane, and PQQ.
Okay. So, Tracy, if you could put that in the chat room, PQQ, lion's mane, and what
And
was the other one?
We finna go over the other one right now, CoQ10.
CoQ10. It's
Okay,
C
now,
O. Wait a minute.
yeah, go ahead.
It's COENZYME Q10. COENZYME and then Q, the letter Q, and number 10.
Or you can just put COQ10 for short.
You can put COQT Q10 for short.
It'll
Yep,
still
that's
come
it.
up.
It'll still come up. Okay, go ahead, Rod. And you
That
guys do
same
the
one.
same in the chat room on this call and on YouTube as well. All right,
So
go
go to
ahead.
the one with the 9 benefits of yeah. Now the reason why you want this one is because once you start raising that energy, you have to also have this because this balances the way the heart uses the PQQ. CoQ10 may support skin, brain, and lungs, as well as protect against chronic disease like cancer or diabetes. More research is needed to understand its benefits, however. CoQ10 is a compound that helps generate energy in your cells. With age, your body produces less of it, but you can also get it from supplements or food. So this is what the CoQ10 is, a support system for the PQQ and the feeding of the mitochondrial. And you're going to know once you successfully had your breakthrough, people will go everywhere you go. People are going to be like, dang, girl, are you glowing? It's an unmistakable glow, right? So um, we can go off the CoQ10. So them the three supplements. Now, the meditation, the three supplements, but the women who haven't done your cleanses, if you got time to do your cleanses and continue on your process, but you need an herbalist that can walk you through everything so you don't get the wrong herbs, right? So when you talk to your herbalist, you want to before you start this process of turning your mitochondria up, you have to get the metals out, or you will blow a fuse and have a literal stroke if you don't cleanse first. But the ones who've been doing their cleanses and their metal cleanses and their detoxes, they can start with the CoQ10, the PQQ, and the lion's mane, and you will do it under the supervision of a herbalist or a naturopathic physician if you still trust Western medicine. Um, and you can also do it under a shaman who's experienced in mushroom ceremonies because he will also understand the best application of lion's mane and what you should do as a precursor to it. Even though it's a non hallucinogenic, it's still a mushroom. And any shaman that has done mushroom ceremonies have to know all of the mushrooms. So he will know you're using lion's mane, and then he'll know what PQQ and CoQ10 is, and he'll be able to say, okay, this is how we're going to do it. But this is going to turn the mitochondria up. But the cleanses you need first. Liver is the biggest, most important cleanse. That's normally dandelion, burdock root, and milk thistle, right? There's you could do a cranberry and elderberry. It's a couple more berries you can use to flush the kidneys. Cranberry is the most accessible, the easiest, and the cheapest one to get to flush the kidneys. Then you have to do an intestinal cleanse and a flush, and that was the program depending on your diet that you have to go over with your this is why I'm telling y'all to get y'all a herbalist first. So because when y'all get caught up and as the more women turn on, they're gonna start emitting higher frequencies, because the earth is sending them the codes as we speak through solar flare. Yep. Heavy metal cleanse, liver cleanse, kidney cleanse, intestinal cleanse. That's the cleanses that you need. And the heavy metal cleanse is not as difficult as you think. But you don't want to cleanse everything at once because you will go into a healing crisis that will shut you down. So this is why you need an herbalist, because even though this stuff is natural, we've been unnatural for so long that the sudden shock from it um, can also cause problems. So as you transitioning, you need a professional that can walk you through it to get you detox first before you start raising your mitochondrial frequency. Right? Once you start doing this, it's going to be unmistakable no matter where you go. You're going to be glowing and you're going to have a positive effect. Is you got to keep your heart light. That means don't let other people's opinions get into your heart space and upset your emotions. F their opinions, right? Tell them to use them for a suppository. And that's what they can do with their opinions. And you walk in your love energy. And how do you tune into that? Well, from watching my mama, when she understood we had enough food to eat, and she understood dad was in the house watching his fight in the back room, she used to go into this energy and I could feel it on the other side of the room. And she'd be stirring in her pot and she'd just be bobbing her head and stirring in her pot and be humming a little bit because she's in that energy. And I used to say to myself, Mama, act like she in love, and start giggling. And don't none of the other my siblings know what I'm thinking. And I'm looking at them and they just going about their regular day. And I'm watching Mama. Talking about Mama look like she in love. That's the energy you want to be in. Everything is safe. Everything is secure. It's all right. And I can just be free to love. When you get to that energy, any mother that know what I'm talking about can know what I'm talking about. If they've experienced being in there giving provisions to the family, knowing everything gonna be all right. Ain't got nothing to complain about. Everything all right. It's all put together. That's the you on mute, Empress.
I said, so now everybody understands the nature of us, that we operate from the highest realm of love. And we got to stop all this biting and being cutthroat, first of all, to ourselves and to other people. Because hurt people are hurt people. And what's going on right now, we're trying to flip this post-traumatic stress stuff that we've carried into our DNA, and why it is important, why Big Mama don't be around here raising hell. You know, uh, that's why I don't entertain drama. I really don't. I don't get into public controversy. Uh, and I choose to. It's a choice. You could choose to be happy and walk in love, or you can choose to still stay in my coop, or either stay in the masculine energy. And the problem is, not only our men are already that, but our women have been in survival mode so long that we have to be conscious of our energies and how we do a thing, how we respond to crisis, how to respond to things that come up unexpectedly, and being having choice of words that we use to damn ourselves. And I mean literally. Like, for instance, you have this saying, I can't win for losing. Well, flip that and say, I can't lose for winning. Now you see how that really like flipped everything, because we're so used to having these sayings and these different sayings that family have passed down for generations that are keep cursing us and using words like blessing, be less. Okay? He mentioned the word imagination. If you break down that word, there's a couple of words in there that can help us. It's I'm a nation. I'm a G in the nation. Break it down. Impossible. I'm possible. So we have to pay attention to what kind of energies, particularly because we've been in such a patriarch energies for so long. We don't even know we acting like man. The masculine energy. And we can't balance them until we balance ourselves first. Because they can't balance themselves without us. And so it's imperative that you understand what you have inside of you, your DNA, how important it is to this planet, that we melanated women got to come back online, because if we stay the way we are, the longer the suffering is going to be for us and for this planet. So we must shift, and that's what we're gearing up for the matriarch, that we've got a committee. Now we getting ready to launch some things so you can get cleaned up. A lot of you coming in with the wrong ideas, the wrong impression of what a matriarch and coming into the matriarch means. What it means is that you come into self-governing because you're sovereign. You're sovereign. God is sovereign. And what they're not telling us is that we are gods. We're not goddesses. There's no such a word. There's no such word as goddess. We're gods. Period.
So
and they're afraid that we're going to come online and exercise our God powers. And so that's why they have to continue to hide this stuff from us, so that we don't come into our fullness of who we are in our power. I yield, Rod.
So, Empress, I want to touch on two more things, then we can wrap it up. One is the man's role in the matriarch. And the second one is Sufi. Sufi is mystics in Islamic tradition. So the role of the men in the patriarchy, everybody keep thinking, all of the men keep getting scared that the women is going to pretend to be men and do what the men did under the patriarchy. To me, that's not how it works. So the men got three things that they need to do to be prepared. They got to work on their physical self to be strong enough and in shape enough to defend their house. So it should be a routine of every man is some kind of exercise, even if it's walking around the park several times a week, to stay in some kind of physical conditioning so that you capable of protecting. The next thing is that under the matriarchy, you're going to have more hands-on responsibilities of leadership than you do in the patriarchy. You're going to be required to take more these young guys under your wing and give them hands-on information about real life stuff compared to when it was under the patriarchy. The mothers require the men to form mentor groups among themselves and take their responsibility to find the boys in the community and keep them from going into the wrong direction by mentoring them through the struggles of life. All of the boys supposed to know we got a problem. Well, we gonna figure it out. Let's go down to the barbershop. Uncle Will down there, Uncle Joe down there, Uncle Bobby down there, Uncle Mike down there. One of them gonna help us. Sometimes we got to do some dirt, but we can't let them do the dirt that they have to do that's required in order to survive without proper consultation from elders. Because you can limit going to have a conversation that would have escalated into a murder by having proper counsel. So it don't mean that you still don't stand on your block or stand on your set or rep your set. That means that you only do it from a position of wisdom and experience now. You're not figuring it out as you go like we had to do. These responsibilities of men under the matriarch that we neglect under the patriarchal system, they obligations, they're not negotiable. Just like right now when I'm doing on social media, when I come out and I speak and I tell them where to find everything I can think of to get us free. Look over here, this is what I see. Because it's a responsibility now, and I'm helping as many as I can using social media as a medium. I'm not doing it for money. I want us to be free. Right? And if I do what I have to do to help us to collectively become sovereign once again and to govern ourselves as such, this is the difference between royalty and peasantry. The peasants got to be beaten lion. The royalty don't need to be told what to do because it's in the blood to carry yourself in a particular manner that give you the right to be known as royalty. It's all encoded. It's DNA. It's genetic. It's heritable. And the ones who can't carry that self that way, they not even from Earth because they don't got the royal rights. Anybody don't got the rights. The blood rights ain't from here. Anybody ain't from here won't be here. And anybody that don't want to leave, they can stay, but the sun gonna run their ass out of here sooner than later. And it don't matter what their skin complexion is. We get caught up on complexionism. All of the isms. If you hear ism behind it, it's a divide and conquer strategy that's applied. It's tactically applied now. When you hear ism behind a word in reference to a verb, Islamism, right? Racism, politicsism, they fixed in that position. That means it's a strategy involved in the process of oppression. You can have two brothers and they can be, one of them could be pale faced with straight hair and the other one could be brown skinned with nappy hair, come from the same mama. So we can't let complexionism that was taught to us as a legal communication in our face used to oppress us behind our back. They use all of those divide and conquer. Anything that make you harbor any negative vibrational feelings in your heart for another human is an applied pressure point of oppression. It obstructs the application of love when you start putting conditions into place. Now you can't love properly, therefore people can't communicate properly because the love is dysfunctional. This is why we want these sisters to vibrate in their divine feminine. This is why I use the examples I use to help get you in the frequency. Slow dancing to love songs get you in the frequency. Some of the girls like to do ballet because it get them in that frequency. But the more higher drive feminine that's closer to the masculine, they like gymnastics to control and to get into that frequency. Right? Softer ones might like figure skating to get them into that frequency. Right? And some of them is tribal. Some of the tribes had the girls jump rope so that they could feel that constant float between the ropes of feet not being on the ground so they could feel like what it feel like to ascend. Right? Some of them use swimming, the water tribes. Right? The skywalkers use tree climbing, scaffolding, tightrope walking, trapezes. That's all from the sky clans, the treetop walkers. Right? So we had different cultural practices and we all had different ways to for our tribe to balance the energy. They just came over here and tried to apply one thing universally and all of the families behave different. And now we trying to act like they telling us to act and it ain't working. But if we go back to following the nature, the great law, and restore the great mother, it'll self-correct within one generation. And we already planning ahead for 7 to live in bounty and prosperity. And we gonna start celebrating in 2025 for the whole year. Me and Empress gonna be traveling around from party to party all over the country, telling them, giving them the game, and dancing with them and barbecuing and dancing around the campfires at night, telling war stories, all of it. We're gonna be we're gonna be traveling like gypsies, the chiefs, for about 2 years, just getting everybody a chance to ask questions to all of the chiefs that was held in captivity by these monsters. And then we got work to do. We're gonna be doing the leadership summits, right? We're gonna be doing the educational summit for the children. We're getting away with the school system because we all know that the school is the shul and the shul is the Sheol and Sheol is hell. So we don't want to send our babies to hell no more because they act like devils when they go there. They just adapt into the environment. So we're going to give them educational havens because a haven is more like heaven. And maybe they'll start acting like angels instead. What you think, Empress? You on mute.
I said you're right on time. Did you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I said you're
So,
right on time. I wanted to go back, for instance, since you asked that question of me. Now I have to go back to something that uh you showed me. Is this seat right here?
mm-hmm.
Okay. So I want to get this real clear, because I want to understand this seat here and why I'm just now actually grasping. It's taking me some time. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a minute and I'll come back to this. I want to explain something, express this to everyone. This seat is the seat that was taken, and that the seat is mine, by birthright. Now, being that you explained that, Chief Pontiac, I'm having like these thoughts about the seat and where we are now in the process of me doing that.
Okay, that particular seat is a replica. It's not the actual seat, it's a replica to give us a public recording of what they were doing. On this land, when you went to Philadelphia, you sat in the sacerdotal seat of Turtle Island. When you sat in the sacerdotal seat with the blood in the right, they all got to bow down, talking about the invaders and the imposters, because we never demanded our people to bow to nobody, not even us. They raised their hands in salutation to us, but they want their people to bow down. We want our people to rise up. It's a difference. This is why I had mentioned earlier about you going to Philadelphia, sitting in the seat of power. It's the political seat of sacerdotal power for Turtle Island. The real sacerdotal seat for the planet is in Arizona and is guarded by the military, and it's the old temple of Isis. We use the replicas in modern times because as time goes on, the points of energy of the planet shift. So we mark the new location with a identifier. In Kemet, the seat is not represented as a physical object. It's a ceiling painting in the Dendara temple that shows where Big Mama is in relation to all of the other totems, which are family lines in the entire zodiac pantheon. And she is the one with the hippopotamus head in the imagery, the alligator spine, and the hippopotamus body with the woman's breast. But she's carrying a cleaver in her right hand. Right. This is Tawaret in ancient Kemet. Before the temple was in Dendara, it was the temple of Kali Ma, right outside of Bangladesh, not Bangladesh, Bengali, India. This is when the Dravidians, the ones that look like me and you in India, was the royal family because they was the original bloodline of the earthborn in the area. They were usurped by one of Enlil's wives named Kamala Devi. And they took over and subjugated the organic people of the land, relegated them to the lowest position on the caste system when they took power over there. But when the seat moved, Kali Ma commissioned the Thuggee to take everything back from them. And this is why the Thuggee had the reputation of being robbers on the highway, or bandits is what they called them. But the people that they was robbing was the tax collectors. Robin Hood story. It's all intertwined around the world. The sacerdotal seat then was taken from them and was given to the priestesses of the Gorgon, and they established the civilization known as Greek, usurped by the patriarchy, the Romans, the Etruscans. They then have to put the sacerdotal seat in Rome because Rome is the headquarters of the Babylonian kingdom. But we have to be able to read the signs to know where there's this sacerdotal seat power moving to and how can we prove it. So we identified the infiltrator coming in is Alexander in Greece because his father was Zeus, which is the same interloper that came in Sumer as Enlil, the same interloper that came in Kemet as Set. Right, so we following the same sacerdotal seat in the crucifixion of Cleopatra, was telling you she was a Gorgon priestess that they stole the power from, which brings the birthing of the Jesus story to conceal who Isis is, the queen of heaven and earth. So the replicas sit there, but you are in the responsibility now to designating the artists to redesign your seat, designating the geography to where the new seat of power going to be. Remember, I've been telling you that the whole time. You're going to have to choose the new seat of power. You and the sisters got to get together, the other tribe mothers. Y'all got to figure out which one of these castles want to be y'all primary meeting places and all of these things for political reasons. All y'all doing is trying to figure out how to feed, clothe, and house the most people. That's it. How to maintain the infrastructure and to support the local who are trying to do that. Unlike the government that want to control everybody so that they can make everybody work for them. And a handful of people hiding in little smoke-filled rooms making decisions that affect everybody where they the only ones benefit. So we take the sacerdotal seat back from the enemy, we give it back to the rightful heir. We overthrow every corporation by exposing their fraud to the public domain, using the oral tradition because they gave it all back in the Indigenous Rights Act if we use our oral tradition and exercise our sovereign right. And I've been following the oral tradition, putting it in the public domain for the last 5 years, and all of the receipts is there. You on mute. You still on mute, Empress? Oh, okay.
There we go. All right. So, being that's being said, I'm where I'm supposed to be right now, son.
Yep.
All right.
So we following the process. Then, if we successful at each step, they give us a response in the political arena with a stage show. This is the funniest stage show I ever seen.
I mean, I had this conversation with one of my parents. I'm not going to say which one it was yesterday, and they said, "Oh, yeah, that Kamala, she gonna take us all the way somewhere this time. How about she gonna be the one?" And I'm thinking, damn, what you think? I said, you don't want to know what I think. So I'm going to keep my opinion to myself because I don't get into public controversies. But I tell you one damn thing, I ain't vote for damn one. Oh, you don't vote? No, I don't damn vote. I vote for me to be free. I can count on me to be free. I'm not sitting around in hard fight and all my emotions all up in there. Ah, Brian is going to die. Ah, y'all better
So look, Empress, this political arena is playing the reverse of going into this. So one of Kamala's um, doubles, I call them stunt doubles, is a man.
Hey, I'm glad we said it at the same time. How many of y'all know that's a he? All
So
dressed up and nowhere
so
to go.
so this is what the side effect is going to be. The real Kamala, wherever they got her held hostage at, is going to let the drag queen take the political seat. Because when the drag queen take the falling political seat, that's sending the devil to hell. This is why it's all written in there. So this automatically plays the Trump card, right? Because one, I don't even think she was born over here. Anybody not born here take the office of president is a coup. Founding father said that in they letters. That's why it's one of the prerequisites to being president is you must be born on the land. That's to prevent foreign occupation of a domestic state. So if they do, Joe Biden character already the exit stage left came back a whole foot taller. People not paying attention, but it's my job to look at the little details. So when he come wherever he at, 6 feet, all of this stuff is leading up to the reenactment of the takeover of the cross-dressing drag queen priest masquerading as the women sitting in all of the matriarchal seats of power. So when that happened, it got to cause the fall. It's a chain reaction, action reaction. One thing causes another thing, right? They already did it once with Obama with the birth certificate situation. Then they turned around and Sleepy Joe went to sleep. We got all of the evidence from the 2020 election fraud, from the video, real time video footage of the guy hacking the computer that hacked the vote, and his testimony and all of the dirty plays he said was in it. He told on them. Right? So this initiated a wartime presidency, but in order to keep the people from knowing that they fighting this clandestine war of espionage in high places and that they trying to take over the government in order to keep us in slavery and defy the length of the contract. Because they believed that none of us was going to be able to know when to pull the plug on their contracts, this is why they produced that Obama character, short for abomination, as in an abomination. And so now we watch the stage show play out as the real people, the people from the land, the flesh and blood sovereign beings walking as the first ones, the ancient ones have returned. We decided not to use their judicial system because it ain't designed for us. And we decided to go over the head and use what's called a higher order of law, divine law, that gives us the divine right to exercise the birthright of the earth right and to grandfather clause the grandmother clause in at the close of the age in order to prepare for the next 7 generations. And here we are applying it actually in real time. But do the people really know what we're doing? But they don't understand the magnitude of it because it haven't hit mainstream media because we ain't done taking that over yet. But sooner or later, it all got to come out. You on mute?
So, this would be a good time, Rod, if you would, for any questions that are in the chat room that our moderators can read out for any Q&A. We'll take some Q&A. Okay, Miss Miko, I got you now. Um, so moderators, could you please look in the chat room and see if there's any questions, and in either the TikTok, if Tracy, if there's any questions, could you please let us know so that we can answer any questions anybody has if we can.
Everything's out in the open.
Y'all
I
need to. Okay, go ahead.
see a question from Alana Gonzalez. It says, question, why when the visualization of the mitochondria occurs, it shows and vibrating? What does that mean?
Um, is it her visualization or is it the video she watching?
Um, no, she didn't say her visualization or the video that she was watching.
If she's asking from her visualization, it would mean something different.
Okay.
So I'll answer from both perspectives. The mitochondrial is putting energy out on a vibrational frequency. If it's on the video, it's displaying that there's a vibration emanating from the mitochondria that is a noticeable part of the anatomy of the cell. If you in the visualization and it starts off still but begin to show vibrations in your visualization, it means that you are activating your personal mitochondrial, and now you can start amplifying the output. So that would be the goal of your visualization.
Right.
And then the next question that I see in the chat from Shakawia, I hope I said your name correctly, Terry. If a person has metal fillings or other metals inside the body, what do we do about that? Of course, you answered that with the getting the metal detox, but you
But
can give.
still, okay. So for the if you want to get the metal out your mouth, you can talk to your dentist about replacing it with porcelain fillings. And as far as like a metal replacement, it's still going to leach metals, but it won't be the toxic metals. The toxic metals are like lead and the softer metals, right? The iron rusts and causes your melanin to take on a brown hue instead of the magnesium turns green, which would make your skin take on a green hue. That's what one of the chemicals that was switched in the tampering with the human genome. The Lax family reached a settlement, but they didn't reach the settlement that they supposed to get because the benefit that the pharmaceutical companies reaped from her sales. So when we take over the pharmaceutical industry, I'm going to advise the empress that we should um, give a percentage of the pharmaceutical industry's proceeds to them
Mm-hmm. And
because
that, and
they made trillions off that lady's blood.
I agree.
And if her cells is immortal, that means every time they splice one, she still feel it. Let that sink in.
Hmm. I mean, they've been stealing from us all along. Like when we have our babies, um,
Mm-hmm.
anytime we go and
So, somebody asked, do I do mentor for the young chief? I mentor any of them that come to me, but the official programs start on the turnaround. The reason why I haven't started any official programs, because they would have tried to come get me as a cult leader. But as long as I'm doing everything remotely and solitary, it ain't nothing they could do about it.
well, I want to ask if our cells are the way they are, then that means our cells are the same as hers. Then am I correct? Or
Yeah, that's what we was just going over, the lac Z gene. That's the immortal genes that is from the earthborn that comes through the mother line that's carried through the mitochondrial from the first mother.
mm-hmm.
This is
Okay.
why when we canceled stuff in the oral tradition, before I knew who you was, you knew who I was, they were surrendering documentation to you. You ain't go ask them people for that stuff.
No.
They came and told you they had some stuff for you.
Yeah.
Because if I start exercising my blood right effectively, then it causes them to have to honor that by giving you all the Big Mama stuff back. Because I can't have mine unless you got yours. So I got to find you while I'm putting it together. I'm sending you the knots. Sooner or later, the right ear gonna catch it, and then you gonna find me. Because I'm saying the right stuff according to what's coded in the DNA. No, her cells were not cancer cells. They said she died of cervical cancer, but doing a biopsy, they took some of her cells and used them in research and found that her cells were immortal, meaning that they don't die, they just continuously replicate.
So that when we transition as melanated women, they're robbing our tune, as they say, the temple.
Yeah.
And so and I give this information out in the classes or the enlightenment sessions that I give, where the resin that is around the pineal gland and how powerful that is around that love. That's why they so in a hurry to get us down to the morgue so that they can drain the pineal gland of the essence of that substance that's around the pineal gland that they're using in ink toners, and they're using that resin in the ink toners to write our demise, believe it or not, because it's powerful. That substance around there, and I talk about that in our enlightenment sessions over in the 12 steps to sovereignty. And so,
You know, they made a movie about that back in the 80s. This dude come from outer space and he's taking things, sucking the juice out their pineal gland.
yeah.
Yeah. They made a movie
So,
about it.
so that's why it's important for us to have our own morgue and our own everything on birthing centers, because um, we have so much intellectual properties that are being taken from us, and and
Without our
I don't
consent.
even need. Yeah, well, I don't even know about. compensation, because I don't think it's no amount of compensation that we could get for what we have. So nobility is not for sale.
Well, the compensation is give us what's ours, and when they get done giving it to us, they ain't got nothing left. So they can have what's left over after they give us what's ours. Nothing. So
Nothing
just give us what's
comes,
ours.
nothing leaves, nothing. You gotta have something. You wanna be with me. Okay. I'm not a singer, so I'm not gonna quit my day job. Okay. Now, Miss J had her hand up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'm curious as to whether or not Lilith is somehow connected to Wata.
To who?
Is
Later.
there a connection to Wata and Lilith? Mani Wata?
Oh, well, Lilith. Okay, so Lilith is Lil Neef, right? It's Nephthys, and Lil is like saying the okay. Um, Lil is like saying the one with the voice, the one with the voice. If it's masculine, it's the booming voice. If if it's feminine, it's the harmonious voice, the siren. Neith is one on the pantheon of deities in the temples in Kemet. You can look her story up. This is who they talking about. Right. They call her Lilith in the Arabic rendition of the Kemetic Lil Neith.
Okay. Thank you, Rod.
Yep, all
Okay.
that was part of the usurping the divine feminine, by the way. Villainize all the righteous goddesses and turn them into harlots that bring the man down, which is absolutely not the case. Because if you got you a good woman, you're going to come rise to the heavens or bring heaven to earth. One of the two.
You better know it. So it's imperative that we get our stuff together, get ourselves together.
Brother, we
This,
have two questions in YouTube.
mm-hmm.
One of the questions is when will Big Mama be able to get her seat? And the other question is, did George Floyd call on his mother with the knee on his neck? Was it any significance in it?
Yes. Okay. So the first one is Big Mama's seat is predicated up on the mass awareness of the matriarchal return. This is what we're doing now. As the masses become more and more aware, then they play the political stage show off to show us the timing based off a script that's derived from prophecies. They play it out, and when the old system fall, it has got to fall with a theatrical performance. The banks collapsed, and all of the senators and congressmen seem to be losing their mind, and I have to come and tell you that we under martial law because the government is non-functional or some theatrical performance type like that, which is going to be telling you at the same time the matriarchs have overruled all of the patriarchal BS and assumed their rightful position as the mothers prepared to nurse the nations. Right? And so it'll be known publicly because we're not doing nothing privately. We doing this for the people, in front of the people, for the people to see what we doing the whole time we doing it. And what we doing is following the oral tradition to walk back the imposters until we get Big Mama back to her seat. And it comes from reading the signs, and they all in front of us. Okay, the George Floyd, the officer Chauvin was the Manchurian candidate with his knee on George Floyd neck. The program trigger word was mama. Because the character, and every time they arrested George before that, he always get into that call for his mama. So the officer assigned is a Manchurian candidate, MK Ultra product, sent out to cause a chaotic event to keep us in a state of fear, to prevent us from reclaiming what's rightfully ours, to give them an extension of time by confusion. So when he put his knee on George Floyd's neck and he was crying for his mama, he was activating him with a hypnotically implanted code in Officer Chauvin that he had no control of his voluntary self to stop. He had to do what he did at that point because that's what he was programmed to do. The same way the guy was programmed to shoot John Lennon in the back. The same way Sirhan was programmed to shoot Robert Kennedy. The same way that guy that you never seen was programmed to kill JFK because Ari Oswald didn't do it. So they used those Manchurian candidates. The Sonia Massey, hers was the blood of Jesus. They knew who she was. The police was already at her house when she called the police. Them the people she was calling the police on. So they was already there, walking around, prowling in their yard. All they needed was an excuse to get in the house. Tapping on her side of her house with their flashlight, like some of these psychics ain't gonna see it. Because in the Akashic record is plain as day visible. Overhead view, you could see them walking in their backyard, tapping on the house side of the building with the flashlight. So when she called for them, then they got these uncanny connections between the police that was the trigger man and the lady